I've built many businesses over the years, eventually made millions online. So I'm going to rank the top 7 side hustles that I would start this year, ranked by profit potential. All right. So first of all, we've got this list of 7. We're going to start right from the bottom and then we're going to work our way up. So the first one that I would like right at the bottom that I would start is basically print on demand or Etsy. Okay. That's basically when you create products that people can print and then you send it directly to them and you sell it usually on an Etsy store, right? Now, the startup cost for this is between $200 and $500, so it's not expensive and a lot of people can afford it, which is why it's cool. Income potential is a little bit lower, okay, $3,000 to about $20,000 per month. This is realistic potential, I'm saying, okay? And the biggest problem with print on demand and Etsy especially is that there's heavy competition and price pressure because you're on the Etsy website and there's a limited amount of space that you can actually promote, all right? So it's not bad, but I think that because of the competition and price pressure, that's why I rank it right at the bottom. It doesn't mean that it's not something that you should start, but just so that you know, okay? The next one I would do is freelancing, and freelancing is basically when you provide any sort of service for other people, right? It could be editing videos, it could be doing voiceovers, it could be doing production, for example, even virtual assistants, okay? But you want to choose something that is a little bit more high income, and that is really kind of the problem right there. So startup costs also very low. The only thing you're really paying for are the tools that you need to actually do your job, right? Income potential slightly lower, okay? Usually a few $1,000s to, if you're doing really, really well, $20,000 a month. This is realistic, okay? But generally freelancing is a little bit on the lower side. The biggest problem though with freelancing is trading time for money. But if you get really good at it, you can charge people slightly more money, but it takes time for you to really get to that stage, all right? Then number 5 is e-commerce, and e-commerce is basically selling physical products online. So you find a physical product either on a cheap e-commerce website, or you can fly to China or India or Pakistan and you can package these products and put it on your own website. And so with e-commerce, which is very popular, the startup cost is actually a little bit more, all right? This is a much more expensive business model. So if you don't have, anywhere from $2,000 to $20,000, sometimes even $30,000 to start e-commerce, then don't start it, right? But the income potential, realistic income potential, is between about $5,000 and $50,000. You can do more, obviously, if you're doing really, really well, right? But we're talking about realistic income. And the reason for that is because the profit margins are generally a little bit lower, because when you sell physical products, the profit margin is lower. So it becomes a volume game, okay? And because it's a volume game, the biggest problem with e-commerce is the cost of running the ads and the low profit margins, right? So this is why I generally don't like e-commerce so much, but it is a realistic business that you can start and you can potentially make a decent amount of money if you're good at it, okay? So the fourth one I would do is becoming a content creator. That's when, you go onto YouTube or you go onto TikTok or Instagram and you start creating a lot of content, you go viral, you start getting millions of followers, people know you for your brand, and then you can kind of make money that way, okay? So this is, a cool way to start, but there's some problems with this, right? So startup cost it can be low or it can be a lot, because it depends on buying your production gear, right? Your cameras, your lights, your editing software, things like that. You can start really cheap with your phone. That's why there's quite a wide range here, but it is realistic for anyone to start. Income potential, I would say, is about, realistic income potential, 10 to 50,000. Obviously, if you are massive and you do super well, it can be more. We'll talk about that later, right? But this is realistic income potential. But the biggest problem with becoming a content creator is that it's going to take a very, very long time for you to grow really big, all right? You've got to stay consistent for years, right? Because that's how you make money. With a content creation, generally you make money through brand deals, and it's more difficult to get brand deals when you're small. So you have to be big. You have to have millions and millions of followers, and you have to be in a very big industry where other companies outside will want to actually partner up with you, okay? So I rank it number 4. Number 3 is software as a service, SaaS, right? So that means you build a software that people want and you sell it online, right? This is actually a really cool business. I like this business idea a lot. And it's one of the things that I've really looked at starting, right? Here's the thing about SaaS though, is that it can be quite expensive because you're building a software. There's a lot of technical stuff around it, right? So it can be a little bit cheaper these days because of AI, and AI can build some pretty simple software. Maybe eventually they can build some, pretty complex stuff. But really, if you want like super duper good software, you're going to have to pay a developer, and they can be pretty expensive, right? Income potential is big though. okay? Because you're running everything online, you're getting recurring subscriptions, so anywhere from $20 to $300,000 a month, even more if you have a super software, right? If you open multiple software, products and you run them. But the biggest problem with SaaS is that you have to build a product that people actually want. And obviously, it's very, very technical, right? Because everything is online. You're building code. AI helps these days, but there is still that little problem right there, right? Number two, AI automation agency. All right. So AI automation agency is basically when you create an agency and you go out there and you find clients and you implement AI for them. It could be implementing AI agents, agentic AI in different ways just to basically streamline their workflows and make their job a little bit easier. Okay. So these are the things about AI, right? Startup cost is not super high actually, because there are AI these days which can be pretty cheap, but you're spending a lot of your money on the AI itself, right? So startup costs $500 to about $2,000, sometimes a bit more. Potential income, realistically, $10,000 to $100,000 a month. It takes a little while, obviously, right? $100,000, you're doing really well, but that is the realistic income potential right there. The biggest problem, though, with the AI agency model is finding and closing clients, right? So it's not just about creating the AI and the automation and understanding how to set that up for clients. The biggest problem is going out there to find businesses who will work with you, okay? And so this is the biggest roadblock, is if you're not good at sales, if you're not good at outreach, it's going to be very difficult for you to get people and get them on the phone and close them or meet them in person, maybe your local business, and close them on your AI deal, right? This is really the biggest thing. And of course, servicing them, making sure their AI continues to work so that you can maintain your monthly retainers with these companies, okay? Now, the number one side hustle that I would start really this year is digital affiliate marketing, okay? And it's for these reasons, right? The startup cost is actually very low because with digital affiliate marketing, all you need is a couple of softwares to run your business, okay? You need a funnel builder, you need a tracking tool, and you need an email managing software. That's it. $200 to $500 a month will get you sorted, which is pretty crazy, okay? Income potential, realistically, $10,000 to $100,000 a month. You can, make more than that if you're really good at what you do, but this is, again, realistic ranges, right? The biggest problem with affiliate marketing, especially digital affiliate marketing, is learning to get really good at getting traffic and leads consistently, right? This is really the biggest problem, because if you can't get traffic and leads, then you're not going to generate any sales. But if I was to compare all of these, right, I think that in terms of, the cost, the profit margins, and the complexity of the business, I would still go with digital affiliate marketing, number one, all right? Now, if you were to say, the numbers that I gave you earlier, right, these are like realistic income levels. But of course, with all of these businesses, if you did extremely well, as in you scaled it to the moon, you could make more than the numbers that I gave you earlier. It just depends on whether you're an elite business person or you're a middle of the range business person or you kind of suck at business. Okay, so I gave you some realistic numbers right there, but for me, I still think digital affiliate marketing for the average person off the street, I would start this business again and again and again and again. And that's why I started, I really made it with digital affiliate marketing, and I've made a few $1 million, actually almost 3 million with digital affiliate marketing. So if you would like to learn how to do that, if you want to start a side hustle, hey, you can start any one of these. But if you want me to show you how to start a digital affiliate marketing business step by step, I've got a free masterclass that you can check out, and it's in the comment section right below. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.